Welcome. Thank you for joining me. You have found the Factor 8 sales shot. This month, we're talking about how to build authentic rapport faster because, whoo, is it important. I want to start by spotlighting and thanking our sponsor, Unifor. They've got a really cool tool called Q, like Q on James Bond, and it gives you real-time engagement data on video calls. We've got a past sales shot from 2 months ago talking about how to engage on video, where we highlighted a ton of their research. But what's cool is you can see real time if your efforts are working and if people are engaged or if you're losing them. My team has been using it for the last month and it's really cool. So today we're going to talk about why and how the bar has been raised on human connection and why rapport is more important than ever. What people are expecting from sellers, at least 5 ways to jump the line when building trust, and 2 techniques you can use on calls today. The goal is that you're going to be standouting. I don't English well today. Standing out, being remembered, right? And get that edge in sales. All right. So first, I've got something new today. I want to thank the leaderboard. Look, special welcome. If this is you or someone you work with and you recognize them on our Factor 8 webinar leaderboard, please give me a hey or a hell yeah and your company name in chat so that we can applaud you. We love us some bar regulars. So anybody here on this list, because look at that. Chris has been to 45 events with us. Heather, I know that's you, Heather Fitzgerald with HSI, a happy client with Factor 8. We love working with you, but I don't know if I know everybody else on this list. So if you're here or you work with one of these people, give me a shout out in chat because I can't imagine. There we go. Hi, Nicole. Lori, UMTHUM. Lori, you. Oh, hi, Jody Foster. You know, I always recognize your name. This is great. Where's Lori, you? There. Awesome. What company? Who are you guys with? Number 8, my favorite number. UMT, the Vernon. Oh, I love you guys. That's so great. I'm glad you're here. All right, I'm going to ask you a favor. Y'all or anybody else who's been here before, chat in what you love about the sales shots and or working with Factor 8 while I show our new bar patrons a little bit about who we are. I've never done a good job of setting the table. Who is Factor 8? So if you're new, here are the details on us and maybe even a few fun facts for my longtime friends you might not know. So everybody on my team at Factor 8 is a former sales leader. So we've made the calls, managed the teams, managed the departments. So we've got lots of folks who rose to VP of sales and said, I miss working with people. They threw in the towel, came out of corporate America to work with me. And now all we do all day long is coach and train reps and managers, and we love it. I've highlighted some on the screen. We've racked up a good number of awards for our curriculum. We work with BDRs, with AEs, with ISRs, with account managers and sales managers. Who do we not work with? Field sellers doing face-to-face enterprise sales. If you're digital, you're us. Just like our sales shots, all of Factor 8's training is super tactical. It's all about the fast win. It's about building confidence. There's no BS theory and long drawn out lessons. We get to the point and we move quickly. And frankly, we'd love to be your training partner. Whether you have small teams, we work with you online. If you have huge teams, we license curriculum to enablement departments now, or we partner with 20 to 25 companies a year to almost outsource their sales enablement and training efforts to us. We partner in lots of different ways. I also do SKOs, and I've got a couple slots left for Q1. It's budget season now, so if you've been coming to these regularly because they're free and they're awesome, we're glad that you're here, but you might want to talk about going deeper, and now's the time to talk with your sales leaders about making sure you're getting a budget for training, whether it's with us or anybody else. Industry standard is about 3% of your salary is budgeted towards your development. All right, here we go. What do we have upcoming? We do sales shots every single month. This month we have 2. Next week, I'm doing kind of a public service sales shot about AI. I think there's a ton of hype out there. There's also some dangerous stuff happening. I think there's a lot of BS happening and a lot of gold. So even though I'm a late adopter, I'm jumping in with an expert for 30 minutes of super tip-rich tactical advice for sales leaders and enablement leaders. So if that's not you, but someone you know, please forward it to them. And then our last one of the year, we're talking about brush-offs. When you're getting that cold call and somebody's like, no, thanks, don't want to talk to you, come with us to learn about brush-offs. Here we go. So you can sign up at factor8.com/shots to learn more. Here are a few of the logos that we work with. I've got a small team. Like I said, we do 20 to 25 per year. And if you want to talk about how to make the ideas of this webinar and turn that into training that's going to work for you and build new habits and actually get some cool results, I'll show you some results we get at the end. We're all about making sure that skills are getting applied so we actually see our numbers move. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I love doing these webinars with y'all, but there's a downside, okay? What I'm going to do today is fun and full of tips, but it's not actually training, nor are the videos that you watch out there, okay? Studies are telling us that when you present something and don't train something, so a video or a webinar one way, within a day, you've lost 50%. Within a week, you've lost 90%. Great interactive training like we do with our partners beats the forgetting curve. You know what else does? Coaching. Managers, that's for you. It's really, really important that you interact with material and then you keep it alive with activities and coaching. And we've built all of that for you in the sales bar. We've got what we're calling a training system for busy sales managers, where we present like this webinar and videos, we facilitate good interactive training, and then we've got all the tools to make it easy to coach so that you can follow up and make sure that it's happening. When you use a whole system, that's when you get results. Our goal is to make it ridiculously easy for you and affordable, and I'll show you some discounts for you at the end. All right, we're going to jump in and talk about why is engagement important to measure. So your first chat quiz. Get those typing fingers ready and type in a number for me. What percentage higher or lower is closing when your prospects are really super engaged in the meeting? I'm looking for a number with a percentage on it in chat. It still helps with enterprise reps. Thanks, Danique. Love it. 85%, 80%, 63%. Chad going low at 40%. So 40s are low, 83s are high. $1, anybody? 75% seems to be about the average. Trick question, it's not even on here. The answer is the high end, 83%. This is a stat we learned from our partner Unifor. When your people are really engaged in the sales process, you can predict closing 83% higher when they're engaged, which kind of makes sense, but wow, that's a big number, right? So if that's interesting to you, you can DM me and I will make sure that I help you get a free trial of Unifor so you can see real time if they're engaged. But man, it's so powerful to learn the rapport and get the feedback real time to see if it's working, because those numbers will shoot up. So why else is advanced rapport important? Why are we doing a whole shot on this? Because folks, it's noisy out there. I did a poll last week on LinkedIn to say, how many pitches are you getting a day? The vast majority of us are getting up to 6 inbound cold pitches per day. Frankly, that felt light to me. I probably get 6 in email and 6 in LinkedIn. But we're going to do a little quiz. All right, the first one is you're going to type in 2 numbers. The question number 1 is, how many average emails does a business person receive in a day? Then you'll put a slash, and your second number will be, and what percentage of those get a response? So the first number is average number of emails business people get in a day. The second number is what percent get a response. Be clear, the winner will get nothing. 153 and 1. Oh yeah, that's a harsh ratio. 150 and 75%, 2 out of 60. 25%, Garrett, I think you're doing something the rest of us aren't. That's a high number. Well done, you. Here we go. Answers on the board. 121 is the average as of this year. and about 8.5%. But that is different than cold emails. What percentage of cold emails do you think get a response? And what percentage of LinkedIn in-mails get a response? So again, it's a slash number. These are percentages, 1 and 1. These are nice and low. 1 and 1, 2 and 2. Steve, I love it. You're the optimist, my friend. 2 and 5. So Brooke's onto something. Brooke is right. In-mails are actually a little higher, which Jen, you thought so too. Really surprised me. So cold emails, 3%. That's like an average click-through or response rate. 18% of in-mails, and I'll give you a tip, make sure more of those get responded to later. This last one I'm going to give you, studies will tell us that over 60% of a story will be remembered, but only 5% of stats. So if statistics are a part of your sales process, there's your first tip. Turn them instead into a story. I've combed through all the research about what makes salespeople good and memorable, and these are your top words. Look how big stories are. If you're going to look at this slide, I'd like you to chat in for me. Which one of these words might be your superpower? And if you have a sales superpower that makes you memorable, not just a closer, but memorable, right? Really standing out, what would be your word? What's your sales superpower? Empathy, Michelle Jones, good one. That shows up everywhere, everywhere. We've got a class on how to question with empathy, and how to listen with empathy. And in researching to build that class, it's not all touchy-feely. People just want to feel heard. Follow through, good one. Relatability, good. Empathy and follow-up, awesome. Genuine care. I think that is really synonymous with empathy. That comes with great listening. It comes with great follow-up questioning and awesome, authentic rapport building. So that's great. All right, here's the last reason this is so important. The playing field is not even. You guys have heard me say this stat before, so I'm not going to make you guess it. When we come into a sales process, folks, we are coming in at a disadvantage. 3% of people trust salespeople, slightly higher than politicians, but not by much. Okay. For 14 years, I didn't have a class on rapport. Now, at year 15, this year, we launched how to build authentic and fast rapport. Why? Because of the noise, because of the lack of trust, because we're all working virtually. Videos are a new thing. It's and the noise and the emails are so big. We have to stand out. And that's what this is about, especially because we're at a disadvantage. So here's what I mean by that. This is called the trust scale, right? Now, unconditional trust, that might be somebody in your family. That might be your partner or your bestie, okay? Hopefully it's your boss. Distrust is an active, I don't trust you, and there's probably a reason. Salespeople start at mistrust, okay? 3% actually are considering trusting us. That's it. The other 97% are coming in waiting for you to screw them over. They are waiting for you to not be honest. They are waiting for you to not be genuine or empathetic or caring or interesting, and really just to pitch all over them. I'm so sorry that the sales industry has gotten to this point, but it is. And you can stand out, okay? It can be a differentiator for sure. Now, if we start down at mistrust, this idea of building fast rapport is to get us up into considering or conditional trust. It's going to take a little while to get there. It's a huge jump to do in 1 or 2 calls, but that's our goal, okay? And it's going to take some big efforts to stand out with the noise. And folks, weather is not going to move the needle, all right? Our goal is to get all the way up to conditional trust or considering. And that means, you seem like you might be different. You're kind of going to be memorable to me. Then when you prove through your follow through that you actually can be trusted, that's when you move up to that last step. So trusted is going to come after a series of interactions and time. The best we're going to do in a series of warm to cold calls in a first sales process is getting up to conditional trust. long time to earn, really, really fast to lose. The number one thing you can do to make sure you move up the scale is to not pitch in early interactions, because remember, they're waiting for it, okay? It's the most important thing you can do. If your outbound emails are pitchy, change them. If your first meeting is presenting what you do, change the agenda. Stop the pitch up front. Wait longer, you'll stand out and you'll move up this ladder faster. All right, so how do we move up the ladder? Rapport building isn't just small talk. The entire goal of rapport building needs to be finding common ground. Okay, there's a CBS News poll that says 30% of people I don't know, they're probably trustworthy, but 70% of the people I do know are trustworthy. Interesting, right? We know that small talk should always have the goal of finding the common ground so that we feel like we know each other, that we can relate to each other. Why? Because people buy from people they like. This isn't just a phrase your sales manager has been saying for years. It's an actual psychological study. All right. This has been published in the Harvard Business Review, in Psychology Today, Psychological Science, more and more and more places. It's called similarity, attraction, effect. And it's why talking about the weather is crap. Okay. As soon as I feel like we have something in common, now I feel like I can trust you. And I feel like I can like you. Sadly, this is where bias comes in. It is subconscious. We're not trying to be biased to people who look like us, but we are hardwired to trust people we find commonalities with. And sometimes that includes using our eyeballs. This is where it comes from, okay? The point is, the small talk needs to be about finding as many things in as small amount of time as possible to have that common ground so we feel known, so we feel similar, okay? I'm going to demonstrate it to you, and it's not going to be easy because we don't have breakout rooms. In the next 1 minute, I want you to find as many things in common with the 75 other people on this call as possible. Go. Love it. It's starting in the chat. How will you find it? Oh, we had our first connection. Dogs and dogs, kids and kids. Love it. Pets, couple golfers, more kids. Oh, here's another coffee. We've got some football. Ooh, a former teacher. Oh, Pats, Chiefs. Now we can't get along anymore. Oh, another Packers. That's good. Yay on the golf. Anyone like to ski? I'm in for yoga, Courtney. Coffee wins again. Decorating is new. Work from home. That did it. Longhorns, cornhole. Love it. All right. So let's call it a minute. Nice job. I think the Packers, coffee, dogs, and golf were the big ones. Nice job. We got up to 5. Now, I want to ask you guys, what made this hard? What made it harder than a normal sales call to find something in common? Thanks, Greg. I'm glad you're eager to learn that. That was smart to pick that one, right? That's why they're here. Lauren nailed it. We can't see people. It's easier when we have video calling, isn't it? Yeah. So by the way, because we have video calling, quit putting on those blurred backgrounds. We're trying to find common ground. Stack your background with stuff that people can find in common with you. All of y'all, I want golf and Packers and pictures of your kids and your pets in your background starting tomorrow. Lindsay, here was the other thing. You just had to throw something out there because you couldn't notice it, right? And we couldn't see each other and we're not from the same place. All of those things would have made it easier, but you had to share first. And that's the secret to making this go faster, is let yourself be known. I'm going to give you about 8 ways. If you've got more, chat it in as we go, okay? The key here is go first. Don't just try to pick something else up about the other person. Be authentic. Here's one way. You know that you've got a call coming up if you're in AE, right? Why not send an email ahead of time? Give some personal facts in that email. Hi, I'm looking forward to, and I'd like to confirm. Bullshit. Hey, I'm Tanique. I love the Packers. I love golf. I love yoga. Can't wait to meet you next week. Introduce you, not just your profession. Okay. You can also do this on LinkedIn. I see more and more people are kind of removing their resume and giving themselves fun titles, right? Like chief mom officer, partial yogi, optimist, avid swearer. All these things could be on my profile too. But add that in there so that when people see you and connect with you, you're leading with personality, then showing career. Okay. Credibility will follow. Everybody else is leading with credibility. Flip it and you'll build rapport faster. Always do a personal message on LinkedIn, but I don't mean just a personal message. I mean a personality message. What can you comment on that's interesting that you found in common in their profile? How can you add a smiley face or a fun comment? Last month I was named to Crunchbase or Demandbase. Sorry, folks, 100 most influential women. And I was scrolling through, right? Bailey, I was up early. I was way down here to find my other friends. And I went and made sure I connected with all of these women. And by the way, I got about 10 inbound of those messages as well. And the inbound messages were, hey, we're fellow named to this list. And nice to meet you. Something very kind of bland. I copied and pasted too, but I did it with more personality, right? I was like, hey, glad to see we were both named to a 100 badass women list. And then I put a little parentheses. I may have taken license with that name, not the one that the authors actually intended. And, I just wrote a little note on each one. I got so many replies and so many, oh my gosh, great to meet you. And I felt like I was making friends instead of just numbers added to LinkedIn connections. You can do the same. Lead with personality, not just a personal message. You can do this even better in video. We just proved it in the chat. I love using my BombBomb video when I really want people to watch it and I want responses and higher engagement. But once again, we don't want the professional newscaster video. Those are table stakes, okay? Have some fun and be big and be yourself. You always want to share something personal. I'll show you how you can do it as early as your intro. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm running so far behind everybody. I've got to hurry up. Add something funny. Always bring up your pets. You can apologize for their snoring in the background. Everybody's had that experience. And I'm going to show you the pratfall effect as well. The whole idea here is don't try to be professional. Try to be weird. Okay. I knew a guy who wore a costume to work every Friday and told everybody about it on their call. Why? Super freak, right? But man, did he have some fun conversations. It's about being authentic. And that means sharing something, okay? I can tell you that there's an award back here, or I can tell you how meaningful that is to me and why it's meaningful. I could just put awards, or I could put interesting trinkets back here that start conversations, like my F-bomb. Anybody who knows me knows that was a great gift, right? Everyone communicates, but few connect. So what we're talking about here is being a little vulnerable, okay? Share something meaningful. I get tons of comments on my background, but the truth is that's really cheap soundproofing on my wall, right? I show people how flimsy it is, and then it costs like 50 cents a panel when they comment on it. That's being real with people, okay? You can be even more real when you share an emotion, like when something's meaningful to you. All right, this idea of showing authenticity can also mean showing a flaw after you demonstrate your expertise. And there's a study from the University of Texas that calls it the pratfall effect. Participants liked people better after you did credibility when you screwed up a little bit or shared a flaw. And I'm going to show you 3 different introductions that include the pratfall effect. This is one I used literally last week, right? This is one you might use if you were the boss. Fun fact, trying not to barf. That's pretty real, right? There you go. Built the credibility, right? I'm the founder, I'm a big deal. Also, got the stomach flu, I'm a human. Here's one you could use if you were the leader, right? I'm the executive sponsor on this call. Da 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 da. I'm supposed to be here making sure that this guy gets it right, but the truth is, he's passed me years ago, right? I'm just here to learn from everybody. Ooh, I'm a big deal, and now I just got human. Are you guys feeling this? You can use it if you're new as well. You got to use new, okay? I'm the newest, absolutely the least intelligent member of the team, but I am dedicated to learning. I want to impress the pants off you. It's literally my 10th meeting. Be gentle, be kind, be honest, right? And now here's a little bit of good news. I have this expertise, I'm that. I'll ask the dumb questions so you don't have to. Get real as early as your email, your connection, and your intro. And it starts in that email, okay? In writing. The key to winning a response in email or in-mail is keeping it short. And I'll show you that slide in a second. Like I said before, it also means do not sell. Get personality in your subject line so it's read, and emojis actually work. People read them more. I like to put side comments in parentheses where my personality comes out. And compliments work every single time. Hey, I noticed you, yada, yada, yada. That's awesome. I love it. Don't value prop. Don't customer reference. Ask a short closed question at the end. Something that's really easy for them to hit reply to. These are the stats on in-mails. About 80 words is going to get you a 20% higher response. I'll show you an example. This would be a very typical number one email. I've noticed you're doing this. Because of that, here are my client references. I'd like to talk to you about your biggest challenge. Would you like to get on a call? And I get 10 of these a day. Okay. Look how we reframed it. Happy Friday, smiley faces, loved your blank. Are you looking for any help besides a cloning machine? Short closed question at the end. Cool. All right. I have run out of time. I want you to know there is so much more in our Rapport class online. These were a couple of the techniques. Here are the other techniques I don't have time to cover today. I was going to try to jump in to my 4-step prospect opener. You'll learn it in the class online. But if you're trying to get people to open up so you connect with them, this is money. This 4-step process we'll walk you through in the training. It's based on a psychological effect called instinctive elaboration, which is where you literally are hijacking someone's brain to engage with you in a conversation. It's the technique we use in our Swift intros for you Factor 8 fans out there to kind of trick prospects into talking to us, which is how we've gotten some of these amazing results. I told you I would humble brag on the team a little bit. None of these results took a year, you guys. A 200% increase in conversion rates. Hello, could that be helpful? If you close just 10% higher, how much revenue would that be? What commission difference would that make for you? Hopefully it would cover the $80 to get the class. So if you've got a bigger team, then I've got another offer for you. We're doing our assessments for free. We come in and look at the little changes that will make the biggest difference, where you can discover best practices. We'll help plan for the learning next year, whether you partner with us or not. To learn more about that, email me or Ted, lb@factor8.com or ted@factor8.com. I was going to share just a little bit of social proof with you. A couple really important things to highlight there, but here's the big one is if you don't have the big team and you don't have the big budget, these classes are now available on the sales bar. So the one I've talked about today is building authentic rapport. And I'm going to show you, it is right here. If you go to factor8.com and /better, here's all the different ways you can take the training. There are 6-packs for AEs right here. And here it is, having better conversations, a 6-pack including authentic rapport. Here's a sneak peek inside the sales bar. You'll see our class and the corresponding manager toolkit that goes with it. A peek inside the e-learning. This is just to show you it's not a video, folks. I think video training stinks. It's interactive. You're going to have fun throughout it. It's 15 minutes long, and then you're going to come away with cheat sheets, script starters, activities, coaching feedback forms, and more. So I hope that you will check that out and take this next level. If you'd also like to learn more about Uniform, just email me. I've got a couple free 6-month trials. I'd be so happy to help. Here's a list of all of our actions that you can take. If you're a big team and you want to learn about budgeting and maybe bringing in Factor 8 as a partner, ted@factor8.com. If you're a small team and you just want to get some of this great training, go to thesalesbar.com or factor8.com better. Promo code 20% off, SS109. Finally, if you want an insight, you want me to hook you up with that uniform free trial, email me directly, lb@factor8.com. I went a minute over. I'm never over. It was my fun at the beginning. I'm so sorry to take up more of your time. I love it. I'll be back next week talking about AI for sales leaders and for enablement leaders. Sign up at factor8.com/shots. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next week and again next month. Have a great day, everybody.